I'm Eiress, I'm a music therapist, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please enjoy the content. I will be talking a lot about my experience as a music therapist and just being a young Black woman at a predominantly white institution in 2022. So if that resonates with you, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and keep on tuning in. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experience as a graduate student and how I make the best of it by using different tools to keep me organized. Organization is a topic that I think comes up a lot when it comes to school in general, but especially in grad school. Sorry, I had to fix my camera. But especially in grad school, I've had to really exercise my organization muscle. I've had to employ different tactics that I might not have had to use during undergrad to really stay on top of things that I am adding to my schedule and adding to my skill set so that I can do the best and be the best that I can be. So the first tool I want to talk about as far as staying organized for me is my planner. This planner is something that I definitely use every single day. I don't like to pack any bag without this planner. This planner holds my weekly agenda, and it has formatting that has the week in full on both sides of the book when you have it open flat like this. And this is just an example of a week back in April where I was planning to just wrap things up. This was the end of the semester, the final semester for my first year. So lots of things were happening in this week. And I just had to make sure to write down all of the things I wanted to do. And at this time, I wasn't color coordinating my planner, but it still helped to have things that were happening in different colors so that when I looked at it immediately, I could tell that there were lots of different things happening in my week and that I was gonna need to focus a different amount of energy on each one based off of the color that I used for that week. As I've been continuing to use my planner, I have gotten a lot more organized as far as using color coordination. So this is more of an example of when I started to employ colors as far as this means this and that means that with a key. And I started to use highlighters in addition to color pens to make it even more clear to me as far as like what I have going on. I am a very visual person, and seeing things at first glance, I can read really fast, but when it has color on it, it really sticks into my brain and I can have more of a visual memory when I use color. So that is the first tip or tool that I like to employ when it comes to staying organized in grad school. Get you a planner. If you don't have a planner and you are in grad school, or if you have a full-time job and you do other things on the side, I don't know how you're staying on top of everything, but a planner will definitely make that much easier for you. So definitely invest in one of these. My planner is a 2022 weekly planner. So that means that it goes from the beginning of 2022 to the end of 2022. The absolute last week is actually the 52nd week in the year, and the last day will be January 1st that I can write into this planner for. So I will be purchasing a new planner very, very soon so that I can write all of my new dates and things that are happening and being planned for next year into that planner far in advance, because I actually already have a lot of dates for next year looking to be solid even right now, so I can start to plan things like that in a planner. So definitely wanted to pump this tool up. This changed my life in undergrad, getting a planner. Well, really it was a journal, which I'm going to talk about next, but a planner I think is the ultimate guide. It's what, you know, a journal will end up looking like when you're planning things. So definitely get you a planner. So the next tool I wanted to bring up, like I said, was my journal. So this is my journal. The front of it has a little pocket here so I can hold different items that I want to keep on hand with me. They go hand in hand, like literally they're usually sitting in my bags like this because they go together so well. I'll write things from my planner into my journal, from my journal into my planner, etc., etc. They are very interchangeable because I first started to organize via journals when I was in my undergrad. So this journal represents just all of the parts of school for me, which is, it's just so many moving parts. Of course, there's the academia, then there's making friends, and there's planning events, and there's going to events, and there's doodling, and just all types of things. So I like to have this journal just to keep all those types of things. So I like to doodle a lot. I love to draw, so I'll keep doodles from past classes in here. Yes, I doodle in class. I used to think that was really really bad because I thought it was really distracting. But turns out the most intellectual people doodle. So when I start to get, I'm not going to say bored, but when I start to become a little less engaged in what we're learning about that day, I'll start to doodle. And so I'll keep a lot of those doodles in here. There are other papers from classes that I'll keep in here just in case, like things that I'll need every time, like if there's a brain chart or if there's like a vocabulary chart for a certain class, and I'll put it in the front pocket of this journal. And so far I've been using this journal just this year. I just started using it last semester, the spring semester. So there's still a lot of pages left, but I've also used quite a few pages already. A lot of it is already written into, so I'll be having to purchase a new journal as well. But that goes right in line with my planner. So like I was saying, lots of things go into your journal, doodles, just different things you want to remember. This is a list of all the jobs that I have right now. There's a list of future jobs I want to hold in here. There are lesson plans and session plans for the classes and the sessions that I facilitate. And there are lots of to-do lists in here. I will write so many to-do lists in here and then I'll rewrite them. And that's another thing. I like to write things down and make them plain. Shout out to my background in the church. I love to write things down and make them plain so that I can see them and make them real. When I see them tangibly on paper, it makes it a lot easier for me to make them real in real life. So like things that I have to do as far as to-do lists and things like that, love to write those down multiple times, no matter how many times I need to write them. I like to make lists of different interventions for music therapy. So just a little quick side note into a music therapy tool for organization. If you have a time, say you're in class or say you're just sitting and journaling or doing whatever you're doing, and you start to think of different interventions that you might find helpful for your future, but you don't have anywhere to apply it right now, write them down. You might not look at it in the next week, the next month, even the next year, but it will become useful to you. You can always reuse something, you can always repurpose something. And so I have a random list of musical interventions right here that I could use in really any population or setting. So just different things that I was just brainstorming on, and I just wrote them in an order that I felt would be helpful. So a journal is really helpful because you can have this resource and just have it as a great memory, even for things like past events you might have gone to, and you might want to keep the name tag, and you might have some notes you wanted to write next to that name tag so you can remember the key parts of the event. Definitely, oh my gosh, I'm ripping pages out. Definitely want to pump up the use of a planner and a journal together. Just because, like I said, they're really helpful with making things tangible so that you can write them down and see where you're gonna go with it and see what's next in your life. So many to-do lists in here for me. So yeah, that's my next tool. So number one was the planner. Number two was the journal. And this is all the journal I have left. This is all of the journal I have left. So I've been using this journal a lot. All of this is used. This is used and this is what's left. So obviously it's been working in some way if it's almost gone. So definitely recommend that as the second tool. The third tool for organization that I recommend is glitter pens. I am huge on glitter pens personally. I love to use glitter pens as a tool to grab my attention and really keep me engaged and motivated to take notes. I'm already an avid note taker, but having a huge collection of glitter pens like this definitely makes me want to work on different things using my hands more. So having these just makes it a lot easier to read back my notes and make my notes make sense by color coding them and separating them with different colors that I choose. And it also just makes them a lot more fun just to write down and see how the colors present based off of how they react to the paper and things like that. So definitely recommend that, and definitely recommend that you invest in some nice pens, some nice markers, or even some different kind of highlighters to make your experience a lot better when you're taking notes. Another tool I love to use as a graduate student, and especially as a music therapist with all of this new budding research, it is great to have a tool in your tool belt that will help you with research and remembering where you went for the research. Organizing that research is always a challenge when you're having a lot of sources and you're having a lot of different subjects that you're trying to focus on. It's easy for those things to run into each other or easily get lost in the sea of media that is usually our desktops as students. So a resource that I found extremely helpful is a software called Zotero. I'm not sure if you've heard of Zotero, but this is what the icon looks like. Zotero is a software that will help you to organize all of your sources and all of the different things that you have been searching online via a extension that you can put on your Google Chrome, server, your Google Chrome search engine. You can add this extension to it, download the Zotero app, and then once you click that extension, whenever you're online, it'll automatically save your sources based off of not only the type of sources they are, whether that's an article or a journal or a thesis. It'll save it based off of the type, and it can even save it to a folder that you name yourself for a project that you might be working on for the time being. So I definitely think that that is one of the best resources I've ever found in my time as a student. Using that for graduate school has been more than helpful, especially with all of the research papers I've had to write, and especially with all of the research I'm doing myself for my own theses and my own clinical projects that are required for my degree program and my future work. So the final tool that I will be sharing with you, so let's just go over the 4 that we've already done. So we're gonna get on to the final tool that I think is super helpful for graduate school. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way almost to the end of this video. So just to review, we've gone over the planner, the journal, glitter pens, and Zotero. So the 5th and final tool that I think is the best tool for organization, like hands down, is a good sleep regimen. Now, I know that you probably heard that your whole life, get some sleep, good sleep, whatever. If you put in your absolute best work into your sleep and work on your sleep like it's one of your projects for school, you will notice that your organization will inevitably start to get better because you have more capacity in your brain to actually save and store all of the things that you're supposed to be doing and getting done. So something I've been working on is my sleep. I've been working on my sleep for a while. I love to take naps. I will purposely organize a nap into my day, into my schedule, as if it's a class, so that I can give my brain that time to recharge and be better. If I don't have a nap, I am not a fun person. I think I am the most fun when I've had my sleep. So definitely would say that adding a sleep routine to your many mounds of things to do is definitely worth it. I would not be able to be on top of any of the other tools that I've mentioned, the glitter pens, using those, using the journal, using the planner, or using Zotero. None of those things would be as effective as they can be if my brain is not in the right place and my sleep is not aiding my brain in being in the place it needs to be. So I would say that using something like a Fitbit, I've been using my Fitbit to track my sleep and just pressing starting sleep now and pressing I'm waking up now, so that I can have a very, very, very clear representation of how my sleep is going based off of my logging of it. So I would suggest, if you have something like that, a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, or even if you use an app, or just your phone's natural tendency to be able to record when you're asleep and when you're awake, just using those sleep routines is really, really, really helpful. For those of us who have iPhones, you can even add it to your control center, and you can swipe up, and where you can press the focus option, you can also press a sleep option, which will silence notifications and silence calls while you're asleep, so that you can get a real deal Holyfield sleep and not be interrupted, and be able to actually see how long you use the sleep setting on your phone, so that you can see how much time you were actually able to get off of that and give your brain time to recharge and rest. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just my 5 tips and tools for maintaining organization as a graduate student and a music therapist. Obviously, it's not just specific to music therapists, but as a music therapist, I think that these are definitely tools that are specific to us, in addition to other healthcare professions and other professions alike. I hope that you use these tools, and if you do, comment down below and let me know what you thought of using them, or if you've never heard of it or whatever. I think that it's great to build a community of like-minded individuals. So feel free to join mine, and hopefully we can connect over just staying organized and staying motivated in grad school and any other endeavor that we are entering in. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.